Happy Halloween, Game Cola Faithful. In this season, I kind of wanted to do something fitting but also obscure, so I went to a flea market, saw a price tag on this for $3. Let's tackle Disney's The Haunted Mansion for the Nintendo GameCube. Released by TDK Media Active and developed by High Voltage Software, The Haunted Mansion was released in 2003 in hype for the not-so-famous movie of the same name. Due to the poor reception of the film, the video game tie-in kind of flew under most people's radars. From what I've learned, the game didn't sell very well, and there was also a finished port for the Game Boy Advance that was never released. And considering that, and the fact that I've never played this game before, I really don't know what to expect. Will it just be like generic kids fluff, or will this T rating actually have some merit to it? Well, only one way to find out. Isn't that right, Grady? Well, couldn't have said it better,
Sir Asmodeus from beyond the grave.
Okay, that was weird. Let's just put the game in. Okay, so the game begins as we meet our main character who... Oh, God. Dude, you okay? You look like you haven't had a hot meal in 30 years. Anyway, as the scene continues, we meet Miss Gem in the holograms over here as she gives us a giant exposition dump.
But a powerful, evil man named Atticus Thorne has taken over the estate.
Alright, cool. Go through the mansion, fight the sorcerer, and free the ghosts. Alright, let's go.
A sacred lantern known as the Beacon of Souls.
Yes, thank you. Can we move on now?
And can be used to battle any evil forces. Unfortunately, I'm afraid we have little time and much to do.
Good, let me get to it already.
Hold it open and I'll just roll. Wait, you don't need to. Fingerprints! Watch the fingerprints!
Okay, I'm not gonna make any assumptions of what's happening here or what the game wants us to think is happening here, but I am gonna play this clip.
No, fingerprints. I don't think so.
So we finally get to start playing as we explore the room we're locked in. We can run, walk, tiptoe, jump 5 stories in the air, and fire a lantern like a machine gun. And after that's done, you learn to examine objects in the room to look for souls that you have to collect in order to open the door. Also, I would like to point out that I've been stuck in this room for 15 minutes because I can't find the last friggin' object. Nothing in the room is moving, so I have to painstakingly check every single object and corner for souls, not knowing which ones even can carry them. So after finally getting the last ghost, you go through the door, and this is where you start to understand the game's formula. It works on a linear path where you can only enter a room unless you have the designated amount of souls. Each room has a unique puzzle to solve and a certain amount of enemies to face. After you solve the puzzle to turn on the lights, you go soul hunting, on to the next room, rinse, and repeat. Now that's not to say that this formula can't work. Portal did it, and hell, the entire Zelda franchise practically made its career off of it. The problem here comes from the puzzles themselves. Some puzzles are really clever and creative, like this one room where you get shrunk down onto a pool table. A ghost is trying to kill you with the cue ball, and you have to position yourself very carefully in order to knock all the other balls into the pockets and break free. This kind of puzzle challenges you to think creatively about your environment and how you can use it to your advantage. Too bad it's not brought up ever again in the game. Yeah, this is the only time in the game where you learn this skill and then you never have to use it ever again. Then there's stupid ass puzzles like this where you have to find 3 missing members of the singing bus quartet while avoiding the imposters. Every time you pick the wrong one, you have to start over.
That's the wrong guy. You'll have to start over.
What's the point? I found them the first time, why do I have to find them again? Hell, why do I have to need to find them at all? It's not like they can change positions or anything, they're fucking busts. Also, I just want to point out that there's no way to differentiate the imposters from the real ones, so it's literally a guessing game and a waste of time. And that's not even bringing up the puzzles that are way too cryptic than they need to be. This room, for example, I realized that I'm supposed to go through this trap door and come out the other end in like another dimension or something, because that's what the hint tells me to do. But what it doesn't hint at is how to open the damn thing. So you're just aimlessly wandering around this entire room just begging to find something to interact with until you finally come across some obscure object in the corner or find an unclear path to walk through. Though I do like how the game forces you to get creative with how you maneuver yourself from one place to the next, but the design of these rooms are way too constricting with how the controls are programmed. You can try jumping onto a platform one way and have it not work for 5 attempts, but then the game decides all of a sudden to have it work with a similar platform on the other side of the room. For these kinds of things, it's clear on what you're supposed to do, but it's very unclear on what you even can do. The enemies' designs are pretty cool, but the variety is very uninspired. Throughout the entire game, you encounter only like 5 enemies. Ghosts, spiders, knights, banshees, and giant behemoth statues. The ghosts that come after you have no way of stopping. Even if you maneuver yourself for them to hit a wall, they just pass right through it. And they even fly faster than you can run, so you have no choice but to stay put and rapid fire with your index finger. And if there's more than one coming after you from different angles, it pretty much turns itself into a game of 360 Space Invaders. And you can only do so much damage at this point of the game, so it's only a matter of time before you get hit, or only a matter of time before you actually hurt your hand from tapping the button so fast. Jesus Christ, this game's gonna get me friggin' carpal tunnel or something. The giant spiders have the ability to pull you in with their webs, but what's not cool is that this really restricts your ability and you literally can't move at all. So again, your only hope is to rapid fire until he fucking dies. Oh, by the way, every time you get a game over, it sends you back all the way to the title screen. Alright, that's technically true, but you're also sent back to your last save point. So I hope you're the kind of person that saves often, because I'm apparently not. The game doesn't even get scary anymore, it just feels like a damn chore. It's not fun or addicting to beat the same enemies over and over again. The puzzles, while they do get creative here and there, are not fun to solve, and honestly, they're pretty cliche. How many puzzle games have you played where it has this damn bounce the light off the mirror puzzle? And every time you go to a new room, 5 more rooms appear. So honestly, the game's just getting friggin' tedious at this point. But still, I can't seem to shake the feeling that I've seen this somewhere before. On a linear path, can only go to certain rooms. You catch ghosts that are hidden in objects. What is... Oh, son of a bitch. Everything you do in this game has already been done 2 years earlier with Luigi's Mansion. Go from room to room on a linear path, collect ghosts, solving puzzles, examining objects, and so on and so forth. Except there, the characters and environments and sound design all share exaggerated personalities, thus making it addicting to collect ghosts. Plus, you also had coins to collect, which get you better upgrades. And to top it all off, it had variety and mechanics that you used throughout the entire game. It was intuitive, it was addicting, it was fun, and that's the key word here. The Haunted Mansion is not fun to play. The environments are boring, the controls are stiff, and not to mention they literally hurt your hand. The gameplay is repetitive and unfulfilling and doesn't give you any incentive to move forward. Forget this. So wait, fuck it. Fuck the game. Let's play some Resident Evil.
Haben eben Zeit.
Shut up.